How is this open? Looks great. Let's do it.
It says thin cover. Should we do it? Let's do it.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, hit the jumps, yeah. Sure. Why not? Ready?
Ready.
Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. Kind of a sad time of year up here at Stowe. Thought I'd throw the lift close background up because we are reaching the end of the season here at Snow. This will probably be the last intro that we do up here on the mountain. And we've had like a 2-week or 3-week stretch of really good spring skiing. And I have kind of been gravitating towards this Liberty Origin 101. Some tweaks to the Origin line from Liberty in general, which we'll talk about when we get back in the studio. I've always been a really big fan of these skis. They've got a really energetic, snappy, playful feel, and they still do. But now they're a little bit stronger, and we'll talk about why back in the studio. So yeah, season's winding down here at Stowe. Bob had a different idea for this intro and wanted to use the mud as a background.
With a nice ski rack in the back.
Yeah, if that's not
Pretty sad looking.
an image to represent the end of the season, then I don't know what is. So yeah, been skiing this Origin 101, a lot of fun. We will finish this up back in the studio and talk more about what changed and how it feels and what it's good at and all that good stuff. Bob, anything you want to leave them with?
Nope, just another nice addition to that Origin line. I had a good time on it as well.
Yeah, so 101, I should have started with 101 is a new width in the Origin collection. So previously it went 96 to 106. Now they've got a 101 in there to kind of split the difference, which I think is nice. 101's a really good width for this ski. So yeah, we'll see you back in the studio, and hopefully you're still on snow. I don't know if we'll be for much longer. Hey skiers, here we are back in the studio to wrap up this review of the 2022 Liberty Origin 101. Like I said, I've been having a lot of fun skiing it. Thought it was a pretty perfect ski for the spring conditions we've had recently, but think it would be a lot of fun in a lot of other conditions as well. So let's take a look at it. Pretty much the shapes carry over from previous generations of the Origins. Obviously this 101 is a new width, so like this shape didn't exist before. But dimensions of the other widths, the 96, the 106, the 112, they basically all carry over. So we get camber underfoot, some tip and tail rocker. It is longer rocker in the tip, so I like to call this kind of a directional twin tip. You know, I do think that's enough of a tail rise back there to call it a twin tip, or it at least feels like a twin tip when you ski it. It's got kind of the twin tip shape if we're not looking at rocker camber profile and just the other shape of the ski. Definitely has a twin tip shape. There's 43 centimeters of tip rocker, 33 centimeters of tail rocker in this 182. So more tip rocker than tail rocker. Obviously, the mount point is about 7.5 centimeters back from true center. So, you know, if you didn't want to put yourself too far forward in the camber, which is kind of always what I focus on for stuff like this, if you wanted to go a little further forward, you could go, 2 to 2.5 centimeters forward from this recommended line to get a little bit more of a centered feel. That's actually what I did towards the end of my testing period on these. I started testing them on just like smack dab on the recommended line, and then thought I would kind of try it a little bit more further forward because that's generally what I prefer as a skier. So that's shape, it's pretty much the same shape, like I said, as we've gotten in the Liberty Origin series from the get-go. Not really any early taper. We didn't really touch on that. I don't really consider this early taper, but I also don't consider it like extended side cut either. This, I believe, has a maybe 19 and a half meter turn radius. It's underneath the heel piece, so I can't see it, but it's not like a tremendously short turn radius. So that's shape. And then construction is really where these things changed more significantly for 2022. So they've always used a blend of bamboo and poplar with carbon, which is a theme that you see from Liberty a lot. A lot of their skis use a blend of those materials. New for 2022, they get VMT 1.0. So if you're familiar with Liberty as a brand and the skis they've been making over the past 2-3 years, you're probably familiar with VMT. It refers to vertical metal, and 1.0 basically means that this ski now has one vertical metal strut, we'll call it. So there's a sheet of metal. I say sheet because technically it's a sheet, but it's a very thin sheet. So there's a single sheet of metal that's vertically laminated in the middle of the core, right in between two bamboo stringers that are then laminated alongside some poplar, and then more bamboo, and then more poplar. Pretty sure that's how that works. I'll throw the graphic up so you guys can see. But that's the big addition to this ski, is that vertical strut right in the middle of the ski. We still get carbon. There's also a sheet of rubber kind of underneath the core. So the carbon's on the top of the core, the rubber's underneath the core. So a pretty cool blend of materials in this ski to give it its feel and its performance. Not like a crazy stiff flex pattern by any means, but there's also softer flexing skis out there too. Later on in this review, I'll kind of touch on a few skis that this kind of really reminds me of, or skis that it goes up, pretty much goes up right against them in terms of performance and whether they're competitors or not. So that's the gist of it. 101 underfoot, rocker camber, rocker profile, directional but still enough tail rise, and then that new VMT 1.0 core. So what does that all mean? What does it all add up to? One of the things that I have always liked about the Origin skis, in fact, probably the thing that I like most about them, is that they feel light and energetic and maneuverable. I have tested a lot of skis this year. A lot of those skis have been on the heavier side. Whether you're talking about a single day or the season as a whole, sometimes when you ski a lot of heavy skis, you kind of get tired of skiing heavy skis. The first thing that I noticed when I clicked into these is just how light they are. And something that I often find with Liberty skis is particularly the swing weight is really light. So kind of one of those things where, I'm standing around the lift line before I even ski them, and like you're picking up your feet and doing this and kind of just playing around with how light the swing weight is. That really translates to how they feel on snow. We've had, like I said, we've had a lot of spring conditions here in Stowe, which means a lot of kind of bumpy, heavy snow, which requires a lot of maneuvering the ski. And this was a refreshing experience coming off some stiffer, heavier, more demanding skis. Is immediately when I got on these, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to skiing these. Sometimes I'll click into a ski and I don't necessarily have that feel. I'm kind of like, okay, I didn't realize I was going to have to do this today, but like, let's go. These don't have that feel at all. They're intuitive right off the bat. They're easy to ski right off the bat. They're super easy to flick around. We don't really have like great great conditions in the trees anymore. About a week ago, or a little less than a week ago, you could still get in there. I didn't film it, but Bob and I went and skied a kind of classic tree run at Stowe called the Grill. Really easy to maneuver them through tight Vermont trees. It would be a blast in midwinter conditions, just like maneuvering and playing through trees. They're super agile. One thing that I really like about them when you're skiing like that is, this flex pattern, like I said, it's not like crazy stiff, but there's enough to it. It's supportive, and it's also very energetic. So I even just like standing here doing this, you can load up a lot of energy in the ski. And what I like to do on this ski is kind of, play a little bit of an ollie pivot game when you're kind of skiing more technical stuff or when you want to make quick turns. It's really easy to load up a lot of energy in this tail and actually kind of get airborne real quick, make some kind of like fun, like almost like jump turns, but instead of like 1 foot and then the other style jumping, you're loading it all up off the tail. So super fun, very, very playful skis in a wide variety of conditions. I also think this 101 waist works in a wide variety of snow conditions and gives you, a similar feel in different conditions. 101 is still reasonably quick edge to edge, but it's also wide enough to be supportive in kind of softer snow conditions. So really, really fun, super quick, super playful. That's not something that I was surprised by. That is something that I expect from Liberty. If they didn't have that feel, if a Liberty Origin didn't have that feel, I'd be kind of disappointed. So not surprising, but that's what I'm looking for. And then really where this ski sets itself apart from the ski it's replacing, or really this ski doesn't replace anything because this width is new, but where the Origin series in general kind of differentiates itself from the previous Origins is when you start to ski a little faster. I do think that vertical metal strut, it gives them more stability, it gives them a little bit more power, it gives them a little bit more oomph. There's more that you can just push against. You can get your hip a little lower, you can get a higher edge angle, you can really ski the ski and give it some skier input, and it responds really well. Now, the previous skis, they always had surprisingly good edge grip to me, considering how light and how playful they were, and the shape. There's a lot of rocker in there too. I was always impressed, thinking back to the Origin 96 review that we did maybe last year or the year before, and I remember just being like very impressed of like, again, how light and playful it is, how agile it is, but still really good torsional stiffness, or at least good enough torsional stiffness that you can, make some reasonably aggressive carving turns on them. This definitely takes it to the next level. So it's similar or probably a step up in torsional stiffness, but the overall stability of the ski, so the longitudinal stability, so to speak, is better. It gives you more consistent edge contact than they did before. So one of the things that these vertical struts do really well, and we've talked about this with some Rossignol skis, although those are kind of getting discontinued going forward. We've talked about that with other skis that use these vertical struts, is they are really good at preventing counterflexing. So the ski's not like bouncing around too much, which means you get longer effective edge or more consistent effective edge when you're skiing fast and when the ski is more prone to kind of like chattering or bouncing around. So yeah, I found that these felt a lot more comfortable at speed than the previous Origin skis without giving up that like fun, playful feel. So yeah, I just had a lot of fun on them, kind of like doing a little bit of everything. Like you can make like short, kind of moderate speed, skidded, round turns on them. You can make bigger, sweeping carving turns on them. And then you can do like the straight sideways kind of new school slashing style skiing. They do all of those things really well. So I think it's a very, very well-rounded ski. It's a very fun ski to ski in a variety of different stuff. I do think, I probably say similar things about a lot of skis, just in the sense that, like, yeah, they're really versatile and you can do a lot of things on them. These definitely have their own personality. There's just something about Liberty skis that have like a very playful, agile, responsive, just fun feel. So I think that's a perfect way to describe the Origin 101. It's not like, say we probably use like the same skis a lot as examples, but like put it up next to a Blizzard Bonafide 97 and like, no, it's not going to feel particularly stable compared to that ski, but considering everything else that you can do on it, considering how agile it is and stuff like that, it's pretty darn stable. It's more of a closer to comparison to like a Rustler 10 from Blizzard, where you get some maneuverability and some playfulness, but you also get some precision and some stability and some good responsiveness out of kind of the mid body of the ski. At the beginning of this review, when we first got back to the studio here, I mentioned that there were a couple skis that kind of it reminds me of. It reminds me a lot of the Fischer Ranger 102 FR. I think they have very similar characteristics, very similar feel even, which makes sense. The construction's like, it's not the same. The application of carbon is different, where they're positioning the materials is different, but it is similar materials, and I do think that that comes through in their performance. Again, like that ski is also very agile and very playful, but you also get like a certain amount of stability out of it, a certain amount of precision out of it that you don't always get in other skis. A ski that I thought of when I was, specifically flexing it is the K2 Reckoner 102. Like that ski is kind of further along the playfulness spectrum, but at least in the same conversation. It's another ski with a softer longitudinal flex pattern, but good torsional stiffness. I do think like the Reckoner is kind of more on the freestyle side of things. There's more like buttering and more new school freestyle influence on that ski, where this is going to satisfy probably a wider range of skiers and a more traditional skier. Somebody who has more traditional values and expectations out of their ski will really like this. And there's a little bit of like that new school flair to them too. It's not quite as progressive or whatever you want to say as a ski like the Reckoner 102, but yeah, I moved these about as far forward as I could. I have a really small foot, so I'm limited to how far I can move a demo binding forward, but I would say I was about 1.5 centimeters forward from the recommended spot. I'd have no problem going another centimeter forward and skiing a little bit of park on them, but it's not really the intended purpose of the ski. More like somebody who's more of an all-mountain skier that wants something that can work in the park, as opposed to more of a park skier who wants something that'll work around the rest of the mountain too. That would be more the Helix series from Liberty. So that's it. That's the Liberty Origin 101. I think it's really cool. Like I said, I think it's got its own personality. There are definitely skis that feel similar out there, but for some reason, these Liberty skis just, you can tell it's a Liberty from like the moment you click into them. I love the graphic. I think the graphic it matches the performance of the ski really well, and it also is kind of another nod to the idea that it's its own entity, it's its own thing. They're not really copying anybody else out there, and they're definitely not copying anybody with this graphic. I noticed this a while ago, but I've had them displayed improperly for most of this video. But really cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be a sun flare or what, but I really like the kind of bright colors and bright feel to these skis, and it felt like they just matched the feel of spring skiing. So it was really easy for me to grab them every morning and say like, yep, these are going to be a blast. It's sunny, it's 55 degrees, feels like the perfect ski, looks like the perfect ski, and they were fun. So yeah, that's it. Let us know if you have any questions. As always, I'm sure there are skis that you guys want to compare these to, and I'd be happy to talk more about the kind of subtleties and small differences between this and some skis that kind of fall into the same category. So yeah, don't hesitate to ask those questions. Pretty much done skiing at Stowe. This coming Sunday is closing day. There should be some snow left over. In fact, we might get like 6 inches to a foot tonight. So hopefully we'll be able to do some touring and some hiking and stay on snow for a little bit longer, but probably done with lift service skiing really soon, which is kind of sad. But luckily we have a ton of content to share with you over the summer, so you won't even notice that we're not skiing anymore. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys out there on the slopes, even if it's next fall or this summer. Maybe we'll see you in Mount Hood or something. Who knows?